All right, it's big talk time.
Big talk. Biggest week in electronics started yesterday in the beautiful city of Las Vegas. Note, Conley has not been to Las Vegas since turning
Ever?
21.
Oh, since turning 21.
I went to Vegas 2 weeks before my 21st birthday, but that doesn't matter. Anyways.
And that was back when you were in college.
Right. So I haven't been back since. But Vegas is holding CES 2016, which is the biggest electronics show of the year. It's where we see cars, TVs, wearables, everything tech and gadgets are introduced at CES. So we figure we give what we're excited about CES a couple headlines. We know that one of the major headlines of CES is going to be technology in your car. We know wearables and drones, those top three, will kind of dominate CES 2016 this year.
Mm-hmm.
Matt?
Yeah.
Matt, have you ever been to CES?
I have not been to CES. I'm waiting for someone to send me, but
you're looking at the wrong person there.
Hasn't happened yet.
I have not attended it either. I was dangerously close to attending it about 10 years ago, and then it just didn't work out. It was one of those things where the company was going to send, and anyway, the dates just didn't work out. So I haven't been to it either. But great show. Although they're saying that it's lost a little bit of its shine as far as I'm not sure what shine they were really talking about it losing in the article.
I think it's so popular and so crowded that there's just so many things there that it's just a mess of stuff, I think.
Yeah.
So it's kind of lost that surprise element because everything is released a couple weeks.
It was debuting things.
Right.
And because things are coming out so quickly and in such great gobs. Yeah.
And there's so many companies there and I think nothing is quite special. So for someone to try and cover it as best they can, it's impossible just because of the sheer number of things and companies that are present at CES. So, I mean, websites do a great job of trying to cover it, but it's just impossible to do it with all the products out there.
Well, we're going to cover a little bit of what's going on or what we think's cool that's going on this week.
Yeah, Matt, what's on your mind for CES?
I'm excited.
What are you excited about?
Roku and the TCL, or Roku and TCL. The TCL being a TV manufacturer, they're coming out with a 4K TV, and that'll be a TV with the Roku built into it, which has done great. 2015, Roku had 40 models with the Roku built in, and in 2016, they're expected to have about 60. So that's very exciting for me to see that. It'll be cool.
Is 2016 the year when we really turn a corner on how people watch television or what we call television?
Yeah, I mean, I think we took that turn in 2015 and a nice turn at that in trying to get companies to push towards more digital. I'm not sure 2016 is kind of the year that cord cutting will override cable subscription just because of how it's done for people to watch content. You kind of still need that cable subscription to access them on Roku and things like that. And I'm not sure 2016 is quite that year that will make it. I think in 2016 we'll see a few more creative contracts like HBO Go and things like that, but I don't quite see it as a year that takes over cable.
I think 2016
they haven't. Go ahead.
Oh no, go ahead, Greg.
Well, I think the one thing that sticks out for me about us not quite making it around the boomerang, and I think you're exactly right, it is a boomerang and a slow one at that, but it feels like we're starting to take a big step forward. It's advertising that blows my mind. I just can't believe at this point that you cannot tune in to many of the different available streams of oftentimes things that are available in other places, whether it's dish or cable or wherever it might be, and they do not have a consistent advertising stream going on. You still get the hey, we're in an ad break because we haven't figured out how to charge our clients for the same time. I can't believe it.
Yeah, I think 2016 is going to be interesting just to see. Because I think it's going to be either the year before cable dies or the year before cable really does something to keep itself alive. I think a lot of companies are starting to see the success of companies like Sling TV and HBO Go and the whole standalone packages, and I think it'll be a big year for those companies to try and start their own thing. And so it'll be interesting how cable companies respond to that and if they are able to come up with a response with that or if they'll just keep raising prices to compensate like they've been doing up until now. So
Oh, they're still going to raise. They're still going to raise prices, just not on cable. They'll just raise your internet price. But what I think is really interesting is with Sling TV and HBO Go and Netflix and Hulu and all of those content things you can stream. It all kind of comes out if you calculate it and if you have all those services to a cable bill. So to me, I don't quite see the difference in a lot of these cord cutters who are subscribing to all these services. It's great. You can choose what you want when you want it. And maybe that's the ticket to these services, but you're paying the same amount of money as you are for cable, are you not?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think you are at this point. So
Right.
that's going to be that middle point where we get off of one train and get right onto the other, and the cost is the same.
Right. But you're able to watch what you want when you want it, so maybe that's the point of convenience. But a lot of these people who will never subscribe to cable, well, that's cool, but you're not saving yourself any money unless you're stealing from your parents.
And you're not gaining any content. Yeah,
Right.
Yeah.
In fact, you're losing a lot of content. You may not watch 1,000 channels, but it's there.
Yeah, it's whether or not, to me, and I've said it before, it's whether or not the advertising model, the embedded advertising model, is able to cover costs and keep the costs of the subscription stuff low. If they insist on charging you for the service and having you watch commercials, which has been kind of the cable model, as we also have talked about, that's going to keep the price so high that I think it'll probably knock out a bunch of content because they're not going to be able to afford to be on there because people aren't going to watch it.
Right.
I think the appeal of services like Netflix and Sling and being able to watch whatever you want when you want it is justifies, I think, the price difference in people's minds is that rather than channel surfing and saying, well, nothing's on, so I essentially can't use this service right now, what I'm paying for, because there's nothing on I want to watch. You can go on Netflix and you can always find something you want to watch, and it's available whenever you want to watch it. So it seems like the service is there whenever you want it, versus cable. It's like if it's not there, you got to wait for something that you do want.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and the on-demand service available through cable providers just didn't seem to be enough of a band-aid for that. They've gone all in on their streaming stuff now. So, and I can't blame them. They should.
What gets me really excited about CES is smart home stuff. We've talked about on the show and how I'm all about the smart light bulb, and I'm not quite there yet with the lock and garage door opener and home security system I can watch anywhere. But I'm excited to see all the cool stuff that comes out of smart homes and to see how they help security in the Internet of Things. And I think once they kind of figure that out and I feel more secure with technology in my home, I think I'll be on that bandwagon. So it'll be interesting to see what they come out with and how they make consumers feel safer. Although Matt continues to tell me that this is the same thing as putting a deadbolt and then someone kicking it in. But still, there's something about someone being able to take their iPhone and watch what's happening in my house that just scares the heebie-jeebies out of me. But all the cool stuff with smart home stuff at CES gets me pretty excited.
So that's
especially Matt's refrigerator.
I don't know why nobody likes the idea.
Nobody likes the
TV.
idea of looking on your iPhone to see what's in your refrigerator. People like to get off the couch and just walk by the refrigerator and open it, just so they burn a couple calories. People like that.
Do they like to, or has that just become muscle memory, and that's just the way it's always been done?
People like it.
Really?
No, muscle memory. But
yeah, right.
There's nothing fun about pulling out your iPhone to go, oh, there's my cabbage. Oh, look, there's the moldy cheese I was supposed to get rid of.
Down to that, you're probably right. But I think to me, it just sort of falls into the cute category at this point. Hey, wouldn't that be kind of fun? I can do this because I can, because we invented it.
I think it's to me in the category of, hey, I got a bunch of money and I don't know how to spend it. Let me go get a refrigerator with a camera and a big screen on it.
Well, I know, but at one point in time, there was a car that didn't have a horse in front of it. It's the same sort of
deal. And you were around for that.
All right, down. Yeah.
I guess I'm picturing a kitchen scenario where
is not that you can just look and see what's in your fridge, because it would be kind of tough to justify if that was the only thing it did. But you're right. If it's a multitasking screen, it makes a lot more sense.
It's a multitasking refrigerator is what it is.
All right.
Outstanding.
And then in 2 months, when that screen goes down, you got a refrigerator.
You still have something you can use.
If it's in Connolly's house, it's electrified by some storage system of batteries.
The Tesla Powerwall.
And it all comes together.
Greg, what are you excited to see at CES?
The thing, I was looking through some stuff from The Verge that you had posted, and I was digging the idea of the rideables. The whole fiasco with the hoverboard thing over the holidays was funny. But it is interesting with the electric motor and electricity and our ability to build batteries that can work for a lot longer than anything we've had in the recent past or any past for that matter. There are just some cool ideas. Segway's been around for a long time, but it never really has taken on
because it's for
market share.
It's
too expensive.
It's for geeks and nerds.
Well, it's really a super urban thing for sure. But at the same time, it really never has taken off in any sort of ubiquitous fashion. But there were some of those other cool ideas for just getting around town stuff or students things around university towns and that kind of thing. It'll be interesting to see, rather than the little 2 or 4 stroke scooter around various places. It's going to be these things are going to take the place of that, not the hoverboard.
I like the sound of scooters and Vespas. Them.
Well, I know, but that's
like
the same muscle memory as getting up and opening the fridge.
That's true.
We're just going to have to learn to like that's something about motorcycles, the electric motorcycles, the full size ones that all the people who read the magazines and do the tests are all against. It's like, but it doesn't make that cool sound anymore. How can I like that?
Just put a large speaker on it. It'll make the same sound.
Yeah, sure.
Put a baseball card in the spokes.
There you go.
Boom. But anyway, I love the idea of vehicles with electric motors on them. For one thing, their ability to take off and go is with direct drive is so much faster if you're into that sort of thing. And I've ridden motorcycles for years, and so it's fun it'll be fun to get on one that has that kind of takeoff to it.
And I think the biggest thing at CES this year is self-driving cars and the development of that. What do you guys think? Would you get a self-driving car, Greg?
Well, not now.
No, not now.
I mean, I think the idea is going to absolutely become part of our reality. So that I agree that it's going to become a choice that you make, but obviously it's going to be something that's super expensive for a while. And I don't know. I like the idea. Yeah.
Matt?
I would in a heartbeat. I don't want to talk too much about this because it's going to tie into my Matt's Mind segment.
Okay, we won't talk about that. But I can't wait for the day that I can put my family of 6 in a self-driving car and take me over Snoqualmie Pass, the 5-hour drive that it takes, and I don't have to pay attention. Just takes me to my in-laws' house without jumping in
far away from that.
Without jumping in the $10 toll lane on 405,
which is ridiculous.
Which is terrible. But I can't wait for that day to happen.
Yeah, that'll be fun.
It's
I
coming.
agree. But before that, it sounds like, and there were a lot of the talk about the CES show is about how it so revolves around automobiles.
Right.
More than one might think. I thought it was interesting that a couple of automakers, and American automakers at that, are coming out with their full 200-mile distance driving electric cars, which finally is hopping into the same conversation as Tesla, which has been long awaited.
Mm-hmm.
I drove my dad's all-electric Leaf over the holidays.
How was that?
It's a cool drive. Driving an electric car is great. I don't know if either of you had a chance to do that, but they really just get up and go. But he can only go 70 miles.
Mm.
So it's great if you just live in the city right now. But now that these cars, I can't recall if it was Ford or I think it was GM actually that had one coming out. I think the Chevy Bolt is the one that's coming out with a 200-mile distance on it. So that's going to change everything.
Yeah, I've driven a Prius, and I think the one thing I remember about it that kind of weirded my mind out for the first time that I drove it was how when you come to a stop, it's just silent.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
And it really
Now, I mean, there's another level to it when you get in one that's 100% electric and there's no engine involved with it at all.
yeah.
Just a whole different feel. It's really interesting.
Yeah.
That would just freak me out like my car died.
Yeah, and you become unsure, right? You're like, did my car just die?
I know.
And
What do I do?
you tap the accelerator and you move, and you're like, oh no, I guess I'm good.
Yeah, because I used to drive a Oldsmobile, like a 90-something Oldsmobile, and when this engine cut, it cut. And when I heard nothing, I was like, crap, I'm in Seattle. How do I get going again?
Yeah, that's a different problem altogether.
Yeah.
When
It
the
was.
Oldsmobile goes down.
So, anything else on CES you guys are excited for or want to talk about?
Yeah, are you guys into like virtual reality? That thing
No.
that doesn't kind of sideswipes me. Games and virtual reality doesn't hit me, but I know a lot of people are excited about it. Is anybody into that sort of thing?
I get sick, so I can't do it.
So no, then.
Not for me.
I'm excited to see where it goes. I think there's too much of it now. Everyone's making their own, and it'll be interesting to see what.
Sort of who comes out ahead on it with the really cool stuff.
Exactly. Yeah, I've tried an Oculus Rift though.
You like it?
I think it was surreal how real it felt when I was doing the roller coaster demo. Just how it's weird how your brain just takes over and tells you you're on a roller coaster and you're gonna feel like you're on a roller coaster even though you're not moving.
Yeah.
It's weird.
I'm not sure we've talked about on the show, I don't think a lot of VR in my classification of VR is real VR. I feel like it's more augmented reality, and with Google Glass, I think they're taking the world and overlaying something onto the world, like a map or something like that. And that's what I'm excited for, to see that kind of technology, not so much video game type VR.
Yeah, something
and
more practical and not just gaming.
Right, and I think that's kind of I don't know, to me, the weirdness and classification of everything is VR. Well, in my eyes, everything isn't VR. There's VR, which is like video games, and you make up a whole virtual world. And then there's another world where you're using the real world and you're overlaying it, or you're taping a documentary in 360, so while you're watching it, you can see everything. To me, that's not VR. That's just, videotaping the world in 360. It's kind of like the cloud. It's just a bunch of servers. Let's call it what it is.
Yeah, talk about a not very sexy thing to talk about, right?
Yeah.
Room full of servers someplace.
All right.
They have you believing it's in the sky. That's the great selling point there.
And it's sold. I mean, look at Apple and iCloud.
Oh, yeah. That's working.
All right. That's the big talk this week.